Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Adam with ND72. So today we're back with the E55. So this is going to be like the final little kind of piece to get your whole throttle body, snout, all that stuff working together. So if you, just a quick recap, this is my 2003 E55. We recently did a 92mm Hellcat throttle body, a billet snout from VRP, 550 injectors, and a new VTEC tune. Before that, the car also has long tube headers, resonator delete on the exhaust. It's got a lot of cooling, and it's got a 77mm pulley. And a lot of other stuff like secondary air pump delete, a lot of like little things here and there. So as the last video, we did the tune. We went and took it out for a drive and all that stuff. And man, with no filter, no nothing, this car sounds so mean and so good. You can just hear that whine, and it is like, music to your ears. And it's not like my exhaust is quiet. I got long tube headers and basically resonator delete and all the other stuff. No cats, no nothing, allegedly. So, and you can hear that supercharger really cool. But unfortunately, I cannot drive it around. I mean, I physically can. I do not want to drive it around with no filter, no nothing, because anything really gets sucked in there, then I'm going to damage it just for a cool sound. So originally, I was hoping, I was just being an idiot. I thought I could put my mushroom filter back on. I can't. It's literally a different throttle body, different size. So my other options, I'm going to shop around a little bit, see if I can find something online. But what I'm 99% going to keep is what I'm going to be showing you guys today. So if anyone of you guys know, I have a lot of these cars. I have a lot of Mercedes, a lot of AMGs. I have a lot of spare parts around. So I have totes of spare piping, spare coupler, spare air filters. We're going to see what I got back here, see if I can make something work. So in a lot of these totes, I got a lot of like spare filter, spare bends, spare piping, spare coupler. I got a whole big thing of all extra filters, whatever I need. I got surge tanks, fuel rails. I got, what else? I got even more surge tanks in here. I got tons of lines, tons of stuff. So I think out of all this, I went through it, and I think I got what I think we could use. So what I got on the table is going to be very rudimentary. It's basically a 90-inch, 3-inch piping that I welded a little, what is it, like 67mm bung on there. So then I could actually use the factory right over here. The factory little air, I can't even remember what this is called. I'm drawing a big old blank. It goes on the breather and it sucks air in there. Right now I've been having it just go to atmosphere, but I want it to go back to kind of the factory style where the intake sucks it in. So we got that. We got some spare hose, which I'll measure what this is actually out to. And then we got some 3/8 line, which I'll show you what we're going to use with that. And that's just a generic filter. And then what I had in there, this is a 4-inch to 3-inch coupler. It's been cut already from something else that looks like maybe I cut like an inch off of there. And then some couplers. And I got some thermal tape. And these were already painted. I'll probably throw another paint of high coat heat on here to make it a little bit nicer. But this should work perfect. So the whole layout of the factory one, it basically gets sucked in air from here. That then shoots into there, into there. Factory one won't work anymore. It's a 90mm unless I do some big modification or something like that. So what I saw is, one idea was, I think it was WiseTech. They have a filter that comes out to right here, and then all I do is extend it. And then the filter element sits in here and gets air from over here. Now, if I do that, it's a $700 kit, and I still have to build another 2 feet of it. And what it does is it take this reservoir and relocates it over here. So you have less cooling capacity. You now have more objects over here, and it's $700 and something. So I'm not a big fan of that. Other thing I saw people do, they literally drill a hole through here and put the filter here, and you get cold air from there. Okay, that's one option. But then you literally got to mess with all these brake lines, and I'm not looking to do that. I could do the generic like I had before with the mushroom filter, but I just need to find one and get it. But I want to get this car back on the road today and keep driving to work and have fun with it. And I keep testing to see if there's anything else wrong with it. I don't want to wait. All right, so what we got to start is that 90-degree 4-inch to 3-inch elbow, which literally fits right over the throttle body. Pretty snug, pretty good. You do have to angle it a little bit to get your good results. Also, what I recommend is the clip that you actually tighten in. Make sure you got it go in the right spot. So I'm going to leave it loose until I get the filter on, which I'm going to go grab right now. So I designed this whole setup to make it easy. You just need a little bit of just working it around, but the filter goes right in. And then it sits just like that. So yes, this is a very easy, very inexpensive. I'll show you the measurements and everything. Where this is just $190, which is probably $25. You probably can find them cheaper. And then a 90 piece of piping that you just cut to fit, which you probably also find for 10 bucks, and a filter. So you can do this whole kit for under 100 bucks. You get a little bit of air that shoots up from over here, but I will agree, you will get hot air from down there. So I'm going to show you what I built myself. Get that part out of there. Alright, so now for this part of the kit that I made, what you need is your factory pasture side snout. You need this 90 and this filter set up. Series of hoses, which is basically the same thing. And then this little box I built. Now, it's not my best welds. These are literally what I found in my scrap area. So basically what I did is I made a little cradle for it. It could go sleepy sleep the filter. And then this basically goes down to the factory. And air will shoot up into here and go into here. So I'm going to show you how to install it and how it works. And it's got good brackets, so it'll stay on there strong. Granted, I could have got a lot nicer material. I could have got a lot better welds. I could have done everything a lot better. But this was literally what I had laying around at my house to build this. And this was very simple. It's literally a straight piece of steel that I bended in this, and then I cut these off, welded it up, put that reflective tape on there, and then this is another 45-degree bend, and it goes in there pretty good. I'm going to show you the whole thing right now. So now we're going to put my little makeshift heat shield on. So first thing before we put the intake back on, make sure you put that hose on. That hose fits pretty good. Also what we have to do for this little thing is, so here's the factory one, but if you can see I cut the end off of it, and that is right over here now. It's back where it was factory, so I cut it off so you get air that rams in right into that little hole over there, and I can fit my piping in. So there's another angle of that 90 that we have over here. It fits pretty good. It almost hits over there, so I might have to just trim like a millimeter down, but it's not that bad. As you can see, you got plenty of room. So where we're going to mount my box to is these are the holes that originally held the air box on. So we're just going to reuse those holes and reuse bolts. So it should mount right there, right around this area, and be really good. So here's kind of the box. It's not tightened up at all yet, but as you can see, air basically gets, as you drive, forced into here, goes up to there, goes into the box. That's where the filter is. I also took off all this shielding and all that stuff. So here's another spot air could come into. And this was just like sound detonate and other stuff, but I don't think it really caused any issues. And then so how I mount it, so you got one bolt there, so you could easily just get an extension. And then this one, you do a ratcheting wrench, and you get right in there, and this whole thing will mount. Also what I did, just because I was a little bit just cautious, these are brake lines. I wrapped a few of that 3/8 line around that with some zip ties, just in case it wears. But as you can see, like you have so much room, like I could fit my finger all the way throughout, so it's raised up all the way around. You're not hitting like anywhere. I got this rubber padding over there. I'm going to go tighten it down now, and we'll put the filter in. So now you get your box all tightened up. I really should have kind of waited a little bit just to tighten it, but I got my hose on. I got that passed through over there. So now we're going to put our filter in, and this will take a little bit of adjusting, a little back and forth of like loosening and tightening and loosening and tightening to get it to get everything perfect, but pretty straightforward. You just shove it on in there. Got to find the hole first. There we go. Now let me, oh, that's why I'm having issues. I gotta loosen this clamp. That's what I was fighting right there. My bad, 100%. Yeah, make sure you got the clamps loose before you start putting parts in there. And now the clamp's all the way spun. Holy potatoes, hold up. Oh yeah. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Alright, we got that in there better. So now, tighten everything up and then double and triple check. And make sure your clamps are all serviceable from the top so you're not like fighting yourself so much. That's all good. Oh yeah. It's got a little wiggle just because that's a coupler, but that's on there. This box is really effing good too. So now we got the hose that's going under the intake all the way over here. I got a lot of extra feet, and it's going to be plugging in right to this factory one right here. So I just gotta cut it, right there. I got plenty extra hose in case I messed up that cut. And now this should plug right in. Oh, I'm kind of in front of, my bad. I just noticed I'm in front of the whole camera. I'll pull the camera and I'll show you. So this is what I was talking about. It goes basically the top part of the valve cover on the breather setup. And then this is a barb fitting that comes factory. So this is all a factory size fitting. I probably could have just extended it and went right to there. But maybe I will eventually change it up. But right now it's just the factory one. I did no cutting, no nothing. It routes way under there and comes up to the intake. Pretty good. So this whole setup, I'm hoping will work out. There is flex over here. The reason I use couplers instead of welding a pipe all the way over here to make it easy to service. And for the motor, have a little bit of flex over here because with a full solid one, bolting it to the motor and to the body, I could break stuff. Also, I put all these little, little makeshift gasket things with lines, and then I was too stupid. That was 100% my fault. The air filter's bigger than the box, so they don't seal on the hood. But needless to say, it still should prevent, any way you say it, this is going to prevent heat from traveling up through the headers and cooking this filter. Because filter also has a gap. All the box underneath is with the reflective tape. This is getting nice, cold, fresh air from inside. It's getting fresh air from up there. So this should be maybe not the best idea, but we're going to test it out and we're going to see how it works. So one little thing this intake most likely would do, which will kind of suck, is it's probably going to muffle the sound of the supercharger just because now it has a filter and something there. So we're going to give it a first fire up and let it see how it sounds. So on idle, the intake sounds pretty good, more or less a little bit the same. We're going to let it warm up for a little bit, do a couple revs, and then actually take some data from heat points of the engine and the intake. Literally, this was a completely cold car. I fired them up. At the same time, I'll let it sit and actually see what the intake temps are, or not the intake temps, but the thermal temps at the location. So I think it sounds pretty good, revving it up and all that stuff. It sounds a little bit quieter, but I still think you could hear that whine pretty nice with that. Unfortunately, I can't drive around with no filter. So yeah, I think it's a good alternative. I liked it, and then also as you saw, I kind of put the car in gear, and I kind of braked it, or kind of oh man, I can't even think what it's called. You basically hit the gas and the brake at the same time, and you try to rock the engine a little bit, put load on it. It doesn't shake that much, so I don't think you're going to cause any damage with this setup of it rubbing anywhere. And like you saw, I put the brake line little guard on there, just in case. So we're going to check some thermal temperatures now. So as you saw, I let it sit for maybe 15 minutes in a garage, revved it a few times. So let's see what actually temps we got on everything right now. So what is that, let's just pick one spot. 117, there, we got some. 108. Let me get this thing to focus. And then actually on the intake and stuff, go for 95 over here. 95. This should be the hottest spot. 95 all over, really. So a little bit hotter over here, 98. I think it's just slowly getting hotter. So right next to it, this is 110 over here. And then if you check this side of stuff, 125, 123. So it seems like the box is dissipating a lot of heat or reflecting heat from this area. So it looks like normally you get 130, 140 degrees from transitioning heat. This has enough, literally, I'm grabbing this really hard and you don't feel anything. Like, it feels good. Okay, over there is a little bit hot. And the supercharger feels warm. But, like, look at this. Like, I could just grab this. And no heat, no nothing really out of there. Like, that's pretty effing good. Now, is it the best setup? No, but I think it's pretty cool. And also I ordered, which 90% sure I'll show you in this video, I got another little add-on right there. But I'm so far liking this. We're going to go for a couple drives later on. Go drive around for a day, look for any rubbing, anything crazy. And I'm pretty happy about it. Oh, and before you ask, yes, it clears the hood. So we're pretty happy. And even if it didn't clear the hood, if I messed up a little bit, I could just bang a lot of this stuff out. But my plan is to close it a couple times. First, clean all this off. Close it a couple times and see if I got any markings. But with that rigmarole up there, which was all on the floor over there, I definitely should have enough room to clear and close. And we'll be pretty good. And now I got this whole area opened up. So now some heat could basically release from the engine bay area. Maybe help my air intake temps a little bit more. So like I said, the little piece I added was right, bam, here. So I know a lot of you guys seen these online. Some people do like the both sides of it, but I found a guy online who I could buy just one of them from. So I just bought one. So the theory behind this, from my understanding, is air comes in, hits here, and then gets deflected inside the little like funnel over here. Now it's not a perfect seal as you can see, but I'm just hoping it'll add more air to it. I don't see any reason why I could hurt it, but you still have the normal air from the radiator, or the radiator kind of is blocked, but you have the normal air from the grill that comes in through here, and then this kind of deflects a little bit more. So I'm hoping it'll kind of work pretty good, and as you can see, it bolts right in. The one I bought was off eBay, and it comes with this little spacer. The hardware it came with, I threw it away because it was trash hardware. So I just got my own hardware, and then I just painted it black, because it was gloss black, so I painted it more like a matte black that kind of goes a little bit better. And I trimmed it up a little bit to make it flow a little bit better, or at least I think it will. And also, as you see, so when the grill and all that stuff closes, let's try to hit that. So it should, let's see if you can see it. So you see right there? That's where it hits. So now airflow will come through this part of the grill, hit that little fin, and hopefully direct more air into there. And as you can see, the hood, sorry for the light. The hood and everything still closes perfectly fine. Nothing really weird about it. Pretty happy. So that teeny little scoop might help out a little bit, but I don't really even see it hurting at all. So I'm going to try it anyways. I know a lot of people put them on. A few companies sell them that are all over the internet. This one I just bought because the guy allowed me to buy one, and that's really all I needed. So I bought it. I'm going to test it out, see if I like it. That's the intake system for my E55 W2112. So I might eventually upgrade from a 3-inch piping to a 3.5 to a 4-inch. But right now we're going to do a lot of data testing and see how this all works out. But I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Post a comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at BuffyCLK500. And I'll see you guys later. Lady. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up.